let's go to the last feature on our list, Astolfo.
Weapon swapping. I loved this in Steam mode. I loved this in even I think it was even in the wargaming section. But drop pikes, drop shields. The more variation, the better. I've always disliked that the only form of spearman I can get on Greece until tier 10 is light infantry or light spears, which light spears pretty much lose to medium spears if you're competent in most fights. But I get that they're meant to be outflanking units, but also spears are phalanx units, so I don't know. The ability to drop your spears and pull out your swords and maybe tailor your units to have better damage with their swords and less damage with their spears. But to balance it out, if you want to drop your pikes, they'll be on the map. You can run back to the same spot and pick them up, or your shields will be on the map. You can pick them up again. Or you can make it a permanent thing where they really have to decide, do I want to drop my pikes and become swordsman with my pikemen? And it's kind of a niche thing, but it definitely expands the ways you can play, specifically the Greek faction. But I think everyone could make use of it to some extent.
I mean, yeah, that was just fully a thing in Steam version, not wargaming version though. They went away from it for some reason. I don't know what that reason was, but maybe they felt like just that didn't fit, or was bad kind of ability where you commit to dropping shields at the very beginning of the game, like most of the players did, and then never have the shields again. And they felt like it isn't really a good and healthy gameplay. Same way with pikes, so maybe that's why they removed it. And in terms of drop shields, they replaced it with break ranks, which is just a toggleable ability, right? You have break ranks, you run faster, but you're more vulnerable to charges, essentially. Which still means that people are using break ranks 99% of the time and just disable it in very few situations.
I think it was a Militari's exclusive, right?
Both drop
Yes.
shields and break ranks were Miltiades exclusive, yes. In terms of drop pikes, well, that was pikes exclusive.
Yeah.
And you would also just drop pikes and could never get them back again. So that was, also like a commitment thing. Okay, I really need to win this fight in this situation, and the only way for me to win this fight is dropping my pikes. So I want to go for it. It takes a really conscious decision that maybe not enough people were able to make, and most people would actually make the wrong decision, and they just decided to remove it for that reason.
It would work slightly differently in this version, I feel, because
Well, you could pick them up if you run all the way back.
I know, but in the Steam version, obviously you had the ability to drop your pikes, and as you said, that was more of a I need to drop my pikes to win this fight. Whereas in the current game, it's like, well, I can just respawn if I lose this fight. I can do some damage, but I'll just respawn. Whereas in the Steam version, it was like, right, I'm going to lose this unit. I'm going to be out of the game unless I drop my pikes. So I need to drop my pikes right now, because even though I won't be as effective after the fight, I'll still be able to survive it. I'll still be in the game, that kind of thing. I think that those sort of decisions like that are slightly degraded. I'm not saying like massively, but certainly in a way I feel it has been.
Also, if we iterate it in the way Astolfo suggested, right, you would have I need to drop the pikes to win this duel, and then I can just pick them up afterwards.
Yeah.
So, well, we are still discussing, the possibility of future game modes, and maybe not every single game mode would have respawns. We don't know where CA is going with this. I mean, we definitely want more game modes, and I imagine CA also. And the question is, how similar or how different will they be? Will every single game mode feature respawn of some sorts, or not? Well, I think at this point of time it's really hard to guess. And yeah, it really depends on what they're going for in terms of the game feeling itself, let's say. But
side note, favorite general thing would be cool. Like, have the portrait of your favorite general come up next to you on the list of your scores and stuff.
I don't know, it just shows the general you played. But maybe you have some sort of a portrait, something like in, for example, Gwent. That's a game I know that uses that, but also a lot of other games use that for like an avatar picture or whatever. But well, that's all of the features we had on our wish list that we wrote down before the podcast. Any of you guys maybe have come up with ideas during the podcast that you would like to present, like I kind of did with replays? I mean, I kind of just reminded myself
of the
of
topic, so I'm just gonna listen and reply.
George, any ideas of your own?
No, I mean, I came up with some good ideas that I hadn't thought about before about things on the list, but nothing, no brand new features have popped into my head.
I mean, if you have any additional feedback on something we discussed before and would like to present it, go for it.
No, I think I said my piece at the time.
Okay.
I think I'm happy with what I've said.
Well, so that concludes the podcast. So thank you everyone for watching and listening, and thank you George, thank you Astolfo for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you guys, or hear from you, or you guys will hear us. I don't know, English language is weird. In the next SUNTZU Podcast episode. And maybe in the meantime on Arenas Battlefields. See ya.
Goodbye.